Hello, this is Steven. Welcome to my Marvel Heroes Quick Look series, where we take a look at different heroes, look over all of their powers so you can better spend your points and your G's and splinters. Today we are looking at my girl. We are looking at Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel. That is her name in the comics now. That is her title. Miss Marvel. So, as always, I am completely ungeared with the exception of my costume, because reasons, and with the exception of Omega and Synergy. Okay, so we have 3 trees. First, we have Brawling, Photonics, and Avionics. In Brawling, we have 2 passives. We have Kree Toughness, which is damage rating, critical hit rating, and tenacity. So you can see they all go up as you level it. And we have Infused Regeneration. It's max health increase and regeneration per second. And lastly, after spending photonic energy, you regenerate 420 additional health over 6 seconds. Now, let me right away show you the photonic part. It's right down here. When you use certain powers will use the photonic bar, for example. And different ones will have different effects. For that particular passive, whenever you empty that bar, you gain health. So let's start taking a look at the powers. First we have Mighty Punch. Damage, restores spirit. Basic, the kind of move you use to hit a dinosaur, that sort of thing. Then you have Photon Punch. It's less damage, but 25% more for 6 seconds after you spend photonic energy. So if you want to combo it around, she is very much a hybrid character. You're not going to be able to run her as straight physical or straight melee. You might be able to, but things like her signature are energy, so if you're doing a Haymaker build, you're going to be stuck using at least that signature for that. It's really hard not to hybrid her. But that, if you use a photonic, it does extra damage. It looks exactly the same. I'm doing them both now. Yeah. Next we have the Roundhouse Kick. It knocks down and it does more damage, but it costs spirit. Just kick them. Cosmic Challenge. They deal less damage and it taunts them. Nothing special. We have the Infused Uppercut. It does alright damage more than the kick. More spirit cost than the kick, though. But if you can spend 100 photonic energy, which is your max bar, it does 100% damage. So it'll show with photonic and without. With 16,000 and without 9,000. You can see, so if you want to do something like regular punch, kick, uppercut, and then the photonic punch, that's a combo you could do. And lastly, we have Cosmic Haymaker. As you can see, this is all at one point. Does more damage in all of them. And 40% extra to bosses. This is her boss killer. A lot of people can get this consistently to 1,000,000 damage per hit. It's really one of her most viable and only viable raid builds. There are other builds people will do, and you can do them. I personally do a hybrid, just because it's more fun, but this is one of the main go-to until she has her quality of life. Okay, the next tree we're going to look at is Photonics. We have one passive in here, which is Energy Absorption, Increased Defense Rating, Projectile Deflection Chance, Restores Spirit when you are hit, and Damage negation 25% when you spend photonic energy. And as you can see, everything goes up except that 25% chance. Alright, so we'll take a look at this. First, we have Photonic Blast. Fire beam of energy that explodes upon striking the first enemy in its path. Let's just take a look at it. Yep. This explodes on the first enemy. It is an area, though. So if you can get enemies clustered, you will do damage to the whole area, but it's a small area. Next we have Stellar Beam. It hits all enemies in its path. So it's basically like Photonic Blast, except it'll hit everyone in a line. After that, we have Photonic Wave, which is one of her best photonic abilities. Almost every build I've ever seen just utilizes that one to the max. Energy damage twice per second. It increases damage by 100% if you spend photonic energy, and it stuns. And it is a good cone. As you can see, I can get almost the entire room in it. It's a really good ability. And then you have Photonic Devastation, which is a channel beam. Damage and damage over time. You have Energy Infusion. You can spend your photonic energy to heal you. Just like that. It restores spirit and health. But you need to have a full photonic bar to use it. As you can see, it's grayed out now. We also have Stellar Flare. Pull a cluster amount of energy into your body and suddenly release it. Spend all your photonic energy to do more. It's another 100% extra. You charge this one up. You can see you can charge it and then release. There's about 17,000 at one point. Fully charged, as we saw, it does about 29 to 30 something, which is not bad. And then you have her signature, which is Radiant Cascade, which I love. It's not good if you're doing some people don't like it. If you're doing a ranged build, it requires you to get close. It does good damage per hit over 4 seconds, which is really nice. It negates damage by 50%, so you're protected while doing it. You generate more photonic energy per second, but it has a bit of a cooldown. Best part about it is you can do other things while you're doing it. So you drop the cascade, and then you can photonic wave someone. But it's really good, especially against crowds of enemies. I apologize for that. Then we're going to look at the last tree, which is an odd one. We have avionics. So we have one passive in here. Now I'm putting points into this so you can see that specifically that's the passive. Never put more than 1 point into this. This is Flight of the Warbird. Whenever you hit with a movement power, not even hit, whenever you use a movement power, your allies get power, which increases the damage rating and attack and move speed, which is just utterly fantastic. Only putting points in increases the duration, but it's not really necessary to do that when you have just abilities that you can just zip around, hit, zip, and just remember to tap the button every 5 seconds, reposition yourself, and redo the buff. I actually find it a fantastic thing to drop a point into. Now we have the different movement powers. A lot of these are movement powers. You have Flying Lunge, which does good damage and does 25% more after you spend photonic. So normal, that's 6,000. Oh, actually, after you spend a photonic. So let's spend a photonic. We'll do the health and then a kick. So there you go, doing about 69 to 75, and then after the buff is done, well, not a crit, about 5,000. We have Warbird Charge. Now you can see the Flying Lunge is short. It's really meant for just going in between an enemy, activating the Flight of the Warbird. Warbird Charge is more to get distance. You can go a lot further with that, but it's pretty slow. It's not the best if you're just trying to activate Flight of the Warbird. And it's not the best for a travel power either. The next travel power we have is Cruising Altitude, which is, as everyone has a flying ability, it flies. Nothing fancy there. We have Defiant Escape, which is just boring crowd control immunity. Just, cannot be, stunned. That sort of thing. We have Evasive Blast. I don't know who ever uses these powers, but this is Evasive Blast. You do a hit and bounce back. I suppose it's good if you're getting attacked by an enemy and you're going to die to get out of the way, but it's not worth putting points into, in my opinion. And lastly, we have Crash Down Strike, which is one of her best. It is a good damage. This is at 1 point. So 15,000 damage, energy damage twice per second, extra damage per photonic energy. It doesn't require you to have used it. It doesn't use it. It just does more if you have it. It does knockdown and enemies take more damage, and that is that. And you can feel that. It feels good to do that ability. Now, I don't normally do this, but one of the things that you should know for Captain Marvel here is all of her better powers. Radiant Cascade, Crash Down Strike, the Haymaker. They do not come until the bottom end of the tree. She can be very difficult to level, not because it's hard or she's not good, but if you want to save your points and not have to retcon or use a different tab, you're going to end up holding on to a lot of skill points and just using a basic, just the Mighty Punch and the Photonic Wave and the Flying Lunge for a large portion of your leveling. It's not bad. The end result is worth it, as you can clearly see. I prestiged her a couple times, and I'm planning to do it again. But that's Captain Marvel for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.